Growing up, I was always just kind of surrounded by nature because we spent so much time at my family's hunting cabin where we were just completely isolated in nature. And that really helped influence me to how I feel about nature now and how I've been taught to respect nature and everything that it has to offer. But it's also created this space for my family to bond and spend time together and get away from daily routines and just come together as one.
One of my favorite memories is the moss palace that we would go to, and it was just magical. And we always would go back there and like play around and all the little wispy leaves and stuff. And that was always my favorite, going back there.
I would say my favorite memory of the cabin is like the one distinct memory I have, and it's like really weird. But one time when we got there, and it was when I was really little, and I didn't have to help unpack, I had two Elmo cars, and I remember looking at the Bobcat above the TV, and I was terrified of it. And I like that memory because that cabin felt really big. That's when it used to feel really big, and like used to just feel different. So it was like the only memory I have of being little and being there.
I don't know that there's any particular favorite memories. I think the whole objective of the cabin for years was just the multiple memories that you can make there. From going all the way back to childhood, my personal memories, childhood memories, excuse me, um, raising a family, bringing them up at the cabin. It's just so many multiple memories that no particular one sticks out and supersedes any of the other ones.
More than one.
But I love watching my kids go there every summer and have all kinds of good experiences. The first time I felt my ewe kick inside my belly was there at the cabin. So that was a really good memory that I'll never forget. And I think each year the memories get better because we're including boyfriends and possible son-in-laws, and I'm hoping that we're still going there and I get to experience all over again with my grandkids.
I was sitting out by the fire pit, just alone, probably like 4 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock, and this doe comes up from behind the camp, walks behind me, and I hear like a twig snap or something. I turn my head, and there's this doe standing there, not 15 feet from me, just looking at me. I think, especially that story about the doe walking so close to me just made me feel kind of like we as people are not so separate from nature. Like as we feel like we are, like if we're in the city, in the suburbs, feel like nature is like a separate place, but it's always, and you're a part of nature no matter where you are.
Yes, I feel like going to the cabin has really like enhanced like my connection with nature, and just like being in the woods and being isolated and not really around anybody. You kind of have to like appreciate everything and like the trees and everything like that. I feel like it just makes you feel connected to the world and the earth.
Absolutely. As a child, being able to just be cut loose with wilderness, with the cabin, the whole aspect of going there, um, being able to just go out and explore and look around and get lost and find your way back. One of my passions is to just basically go out and explore and wander around. Helps you, I believe, collect your thoughts and be one of nature.
I would say that Sight Sound definitely changed my view on nature because it's really different than what you would see somewhere where people are actually like living and there's a lot more things. And I would hate to see like the woods and Sightstown look the way that like more cities do, and like that's part of the reason why I don't throw trash on the floor and stuff. And like we got to see a bunch of animals that a lot of people don't get the chance to see, and it really puts into perspective like what's actually like out there when it's been untouched by people. I would describe the cabin more as like home, because even though we live here, camp is like the only place where our family has the best family dynamic, is when we get along the most and all that. And it's like where we all not came from, but it's where like I feel like we all kind of tie back to in a way.
Yeah. My family's hunting cabin was built in the 1930s by my great-great-grandfather. And originally it was made to be a all-males hunting club. And it's never really kind of gotten away from that. It's just always been that. So in order to be a member, you have to be a male and you have to hunt. So me, being me and having two sisters, we kind of don't really have any rights to the cabin because we're women, which I think has made me feel a little bit out of control of being able to take a piece of my family history and be able to connect to nature whenever I kind of want to, since I'm restricted to the place that helped me build my relationship with nature. You know, I'm really fortunate to have been able to spend so much time at my cabin, and I'm really fortunate that I'm allowed to go up there with my father and just be able to spend so much time with my family.
Back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, when camp was just starting up. It was a different time. Women. It was a hunting camp. That's what it is. That's what it was. That's what it still is. And back then, woman hunting was laughable. It was unheard of. But I think times are changing. I think especially you'd say the culture surrounding the camp is more these old guys that are set in their ways. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. They want it. They like it how it is. They want it this way. They want to keep the member rules the way they are. And how I feel about it, though, I think especially, like for example, your dad has only daughters, and if I wasn't in the picture, there would be no way for you or your sisters to keep on going up there, beyond the time that your dad still goes up there. So I think why I want to be a member at the camp. I think so I can take my, hopefully our kids there one day, so they can see a piece of our history, piece of American history, technological history, because I assume there's not going to be much modernizing going on up there ever.
Not having rights to the cabin makes me feel angry because I just know that I'll never be able to go without dad, or that he's really the only one that I would be able to go with. So knowing that I have no rights, that I can't go up there whenever I want, and that being our family vacation and where we've always gone, it just doesn't seem fair to me. I think that it affects us in a good way, in a positive way, because we all connect, and it's just our main family time and bonding time, and we can't really get away from each other, so we have to spend time together, and it's just good to reconnect and be a family.
I think it's really unfair that we don't have any rights to it, because I feel like our family at the most, I think, takes care of it the most and enjoys it the most. And I understand that it's like a hunting cabin, but even if one of us did hunt, like, we still wouldn't be able to like be a member there, which is like, why? Because it makes no difference whether we're women or men. And I feel like one day there won't be any owners of it, and then we're going to be the only people who actually care, and it won't matter anyway. But it's just, it doesn't seem fair. Like, there's like no point in excluding women, especially women who've been going there for so long.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that being at camp affects like us as a family and the way we act towards each other, because for one, we all get to be together. At home, we're always doing something. We're always stressed out and running around and doing what we need to do for our lives. And then when we're there, it's like a big break. We all get to be together, and I don't ever think we fight at camp. And I think when we come home then, it makes us all just a little bit happier to just be a family, if that makes any sense.
Well, hopefully a few of you girls can find a mate that has same interest and would like to get involved with the cabin, so you can have somebody there that is a member that can take you up there to help you make the memories you would like to. I don't know that it would ever change. It could be a possibility. Over the years, people that have wanted to be members of the cabin have slowly declining in interest, so maybe down the road there might be an option to have women members. Back in the day when my grandfather started it, I don't know why they came up with that rule. I can only assume that it was because it was a man's type thing, going out hunting, providing for the family, the camaraderie of just going to the deer camp. The men had basically made the cabin and built the cabin, but there was many women that were involved in helping to furnish it and do other things with the cabin. It was probably just a mindset back in the olden days that it was a man's thing, and that's probably where the ruling came in, that there was no women members or women allowed to be hunting up there at the time that the men's were probably running around in their PJs and running outside to go potty and didn't want the controversial type atmosphere.
I understand why it was originally a men only, but I think moving almost 100 years later, I think I would like to see it change. Number one, I think a lot of the men don't have the love and desire to take care of it the way a lot of the women do. I think a lot of the men only go there in the summer because their wives or daughters, and I look at how many of the men that are still younger men in their 30s, 40s, 50s that are actually active in there only have daughters. So I'm hoping I have 3 son-in-laws that become members, because I want my grandkids to have that experience. I think the cabin will be fuller every time we go. I'm hoping that all of you still get to take your children up there to have that experience. You know, Dad speaks a lot about growing up there in the summers. I've been going there since I was a teenager. You guys have never known any other vacations. I mean, that's our main family vacation. And, you know, the older you get, the more you like going. So I want your kids to have that opportunity, and hopefully someday their kids.